And welcome back to the Coach and AD right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. It's in the Sound Garden. And remember, it's live on Facebook. It's live on YouTube. It's live on Twitter. And, of course, it's all presented by Coach's Corner. And we're on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. And this next guest, I had the privilege to coach against him. And I had just started the Islands High School basketball program. I was the second coach in that program. And stopping the Blue Jackets was pretty tough because him and his teammates, they were phenomenal. In high school, he led Savannah High to the GHSA Class 3 state championship. His sophomore and junior seasons, he was named to the Georgia Sports Writers Association 3A first team All-State. He averaged 13.6 points a game, 7.6 points per game his junior season. In his senior season, it was 15.5 to go along with 9 rebounds for contests. He was named to the All-Region first team his junior and senior years. He earned MVP honors during his senior campaign, went on to college. Standout at UAB, the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Led him to get he didn't get drafted, but got an offer to go to the Charlotte Hornets. He's been playing overseas, and I got to thank his agent, Nate Schaefer. All right, let me get my info here about Nate Schaefer. Okay, Nate Schaefer is a local businessman. He's also part owner of Wiley's Barbecue. Give him a plug there. But he owns the Sports Squared Sports Agency, which caters to athletes that want brand recognition. They want to build a foundation. They're a startup. They need financial advice. Nate Schaefer is the owner and the founder of Sports Squared Sports Agency. He's worked with professional athletes such as Ulrich John, Adrian Peterson, Eddie Lamont, and now Chris Cokley. And I ran into Nate the other day at Wiley's, and he told me what he was doing with Chris Cokley. I said I had to get this young man back on. He's been such a stellar student athlete here in Savannah, Georgia, and now he's trying to he's played overseas with some of those names I can't pronounce. But joining us now on the Coach's Corner Internet Streaming Hotline is former Blue Jacket, former Blazer, now professional basketball player Chris Cokley. Chris, great to see you.
Great to see you, man. It's been a minute. Like you said, I think the last time we came in contact was when you were the coach at Islands.
And yeah, you and your teammates, we're on a roll. Back-to-back championship games. Your senior year, you made it deep into the playoffs. Just been a lot of fun. And I love following you at University of Alabama, Birmingham. And I posted a lot of stuff, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, and just a great experience you there. So tell us, what have you been doing lately?
Lately, it's pretty much been kind of slow for me right now. Just pretty much working out every day. Trying to stay fit, trying to stay strong for the upcoming season. Also, I've been preparing to play in this TBT tournament that's coming up pretty soon. But other than that, it's just been a consistent grind. I just had a little girl, so that's pretty much been taking up all my time.
Well, Chris, congratulations on your daughter. So what's your daughter's name?
Aubrey.
All right. So got a little. So how old are we talking about? Weeks, months here?
Well, in fact, today she's 1 month old today.
Oh man, nice. You've had some late nights and early mornings. That dare card. I know how it is. It gets easier, man. I'm here to tell you, enjoy every moment because you're going to blink and there going to be 12, and you're going to be like, "What in the world happened to my daughter? What did they turn into?" So enjoy every moment. I'm sure she'll be a daddy's girl. All girls are. They'll turn into be daddy's girls. And so, hey, you mentioned right before that the tournament you're preparing for. So talk to us a little bit before we get into your professional career and college career. Talk about the tournament you're preparing for.
The TBT tournament, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. I'm sure you are, though. This the tournament that you play for $2 million. It's on ESPN.
Yes. It's the one that
so,
we're looking at maybe hosting in Savannah. Is it going to be in Ohio?
I seen something that they was supposedly hosting in Savannah, which would be great for me, honestly, with me being from here. But the whole tournament right now is, I feel like they're trying to, let the players and the people know that everything is going to be okay. They have one set location for it. I think it's back in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, but it's 24 teams and it's 10 days. And I think that all the players who, once we arrive there, we have to go under a 14-day quarantine, to ensure the safety of the tournament. But I feel like, this year the tournament is going to be pretty big, especially dealing with COVID and dealing with the end of the NBA season, which is about to kick back up pretty soon. So I feel like this TBT tournament is kind of like a JV to the NBA's varsity, if you want to say that, just to get the TV viewers back used to watching basketball and just back used to watching sports, period.
So, Chris, how are teams picked for this? Are you already on a team that's going to be there? Do you get up there and they split? How does that work?
Well, pretty much when the whole TBT, I guess, committee announces, okay, hey, we're about to start this tournament. So teams, if you want a team, you have to go on and register. You have to do this as well as if you want to play, but you just have to pretty much register and get your team approved. And once your team is approved, then you go out and start recruiting players and everyone who you want to be a part of your little program during that time. And once you do that, you just go from there, and all you guys just start training and pretty much preparing to go out and battle.
Hey, so who is your team? So who's your team, and do you know any of your teammates already?
Yeah, so I teamed up with Heard That. So that's the Marshall Alumni TBT team. And it's pretty weird because in college, UAB and Marshall were pretty big rivals. But at the time, UAB obviously they're not having a team. So, and I really want to play because I haven't played in a while. So I know I'm kind of cool with those guys at Marshall. They're pretty good dudes. So I said, hey, why not? I felt like playing with that team, we were going to have a good shot at the 2 million. We made the final 24 cut. So, I'm just pretty excited about that.
I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's 24 teams, 10 days, one location. It's intense. I hope we wind up having it here because I'd love to see you come out and play. Any of your friends, any local guys that might be doing that also?
I'm not sure. I know Georgia State. I think they were trying to come up with a team, Malik Ben-Levy and those guys, but I'm not too sure. With all the COVID stuff going on, they kind of started cracking down. So I'm not too sure as far as what all teams are going to be in it. I know like 50-something teams registered for it, and only 24 got in. So I'm not even quite sure all of the 24 that got in. They just sent my team an email letting us know like, hey, you guys are in. Go ahead and prepare for, to leave and things like that.
Hey, so Chris, and looking at this and looking at tournament, I mean, you got all these teams, you got the amount of talent that's there. What's some opportunities that can come out of this tournament for you guys? Just say you guys go in there and you do really well and you show out, and I mean you're averaging 10 rebounds a game. What's some opportunities that can come out of this?
Opportunities. I think that kind of speaks for itself because the tournament is being aired on ESPN for one, so you have about millions of viewers watching it, and it's going to be probably the only sports thing that's on, and it's basketball. So, and you know how much people love basketball. So if people are seeing you show out, you can get, deals, overseas deals, NBA deals. You can get some pretty good deals by playing in this tournament because, it's not like this is like just a ranky date tournament. This is a pretty legit tournament and it's well respected, and people come and watch the guys who are playing in it, just to see like, hey, I'm making use of my team next year. So this tournament has a lot of benefits.
And you're listening and you're watching now on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. To my Twitter family, I lost the Twitter connection. I'll reconnect after we're done with Chris because I don't want to lose Chris Cokley here. Former Savannah High standout basketball player, student athlete, the University of Alabama, Birmingham basketball player, student athlete, and now playing professionally. He's been overseas. And I want to go back to your high school and college days, Chris. If we got high school basketball players listening, tell them how much it meant to you to play at Savannah High and how your coaches like Tim Jordan helped you get to that next level.
It meant a lot. It started in middle school when I went to Coastal Middle School. It started there.
I know. I was waiting for you to come over to Islands, but you jumped over to Savannah High.
It actually started, when I was younger. My family there, that's kind of like my generational school. My whole family went to Savannah High. So I was always familiar with Coach Jordan and for me with the whole Savannah High program. I loved it from day one. I think the reason I loved it was because, before every game, they always would come out and they would say the dream. when I was younger, I didn't know what the dream meant, but I just used to see a bunch of guys just jumping up in a circle in the corner, just saying a bunch of stuff before the game. I thought that was pretty cool. But Tim Jordan, he's been great, for me. I feel like what I learned from him the most and what I took to college was his discipline on his players, his attention to detail. He, made sure everything was right, everything was to a T. So in college, that's pretty much what they live by. They have a bunch of core values, but basically you have to just be disciplined and make sure you have everything to a T.
Well, you definitely went to the next level. And what was the experience like at UAB? And how did you manage playing a big-time college basketball schedule and your academics?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. It was pretty tough, especially my freshman year coming in. Coming from straight from high school, you don't have to worry about going to class, going to tutoring, and then turn around and go to practice. So it's kind of tough mentally and physically at the same time because you have to kind of adjust to doing all of that in a 1-day span versus just going to school, going home, and then coming back for practice. But I mean, hey, it's like an easy turnaround, especially for an athlete because you kind of get in with the rest of your teammates in college, and then they kind of help you adjust because you see them doing it every day like it's nothing. Then you turn around and say, "Hey, okay, I know I can do this as well." But to all the high schoolers going to the next level, I would just say, just try to focus on the academics part first because obviously, you're there for a scholarship, so the sports part will take care of itself. But just try to focus on the academic standpoint when you first get there because when you do that, it makes it much more easier down the line, not only for the classroom, but on the court as well.
Well, Chris, I mean, obviously you had a great career at UAB. And so tell us what the journey's like. Hey, you're an undrafted guy. And how does that kind of process work where, I saw you were at Charlotte Hornets. I'm from Gastonia, North Carolina, so I grew up a Hornet fan there, especially, Michael Jordan owned it. And you just, the mentality you have to have, keeping your dream alive, and you be able to travel overseas. So tell people, give them that insight about, hey, if you love something, you got a passion for it, you want to pursue it, what that's been like for you in your journey to right now.
Well, everyone's dream is to go to the NBA, right? So I kind of use that like through my whole pre-draft process. My basketball agency, and my agent Kayshawn Daly. I was around a lot of NBA guys, a lot of guys who's getting drafted. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm with this basketball agency. Everyone's in here is getting drafted, so I'm getting drafted too. And I kind of had to realize like, I'm a different player than these guys. My value will be different somewhere else. So it's not like saying, okay, you're not going to the NBA, your basketball career is over. No, it's just that you're not ready for the NBA. The NBA is the highest level. So you can go overseas and still play at a high level, and you can make the same amount of money that those guys in the NBA are playing. You might not see the games overseas, but you're getting better, you're making money, and you're getting that recognition, and also you are getting more experience. So when you do have another opportunity to make the NBA, you can go and you can do better at it.
Now, are you playing anywhere professionally? Or are you just waiting for this TBT tournament to come up? What are you doing as far as your pro career?
Well, they're started dishing out contracts and everything of that nature. So yes, I'm definitely going back overseas this year. It's just to a matter of when. But I think all of the international teams are pretty much trying to see what COVID is going to do. But my agent has been in the talks with teams about contracts for me. So the international league should be picking up pretty soon. Like I said, they're dishing out contracts for their players. All teams don't have all their coaches yet, so it's kind of just beginning with that process. That process usually ends maybe late August or early September. That's when those seasons pretty much start. So things should be picking up. I should say after the TBT, you should see a lot of guys starting to head overseas.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I enjoyed coaching against you. I love watching your college career and you being a big-time standout Division I basketball player. And once again, back home, taking care of a young girl. And believe me, like Coach Chad Griffin said, it's going to go quick, buddy. So enjoy it while it's there.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I said, she's already 1 month. I remember just bringing her home. So yeah, it's already going by fast.
All right, well, anytime you have something special that you might be doing something, let us know where you're going to go play. Let us know what you're doing, and hopefully we'll see you in that TBT tournament here in good old Savannah, Georgia, as we like to say, the 912.
Yes, sir. Hopefully. And I thank you guys for having me on here.
Hey, anytime, Chris, man, we're proud of you. Once again, I mean, it's about having local athletes on, and so everybody can see what they're doing. Once they leave Savannah, man, we're so proud of you. You keep it up, keep working hard, and anything we ever can do to help you, just let us know.
All right, I thank you so much. You guys have a good day.
I hug that daughter, man.
I mean, it's great having guys come back here and tell us about their experiences. And I mean, he excelled. I mean, he was a stand, and I only kid him around about Coastal. I knew, his family's from Savannah High, and he was going to go over to Savannah High, and just coaching against those guys. When you coach against talent like that, you just got to hope you prepare your team to stay with them. And it was very tough, like we said, junior year state championships, sophomore year state championship. It's just, it's great talking to those guys.
Yeah, and also I loved how he says, listen, your dream doesn't go away just because you don't get drafted and go in the NBA. It's like, hey, it's just a stepping stone.
Yep.
Hey, I still wanted to play, still good enough to play, been able to play overseas. Now he's on that TBT, tournament. And so for young student athletes out there who are pursuing a goal, just don't think because you don't get drafted. I mean, look at the football guys who go undrafted
yep.
and or work their way through the league and eventually get there. Hey, you have a dream, keep doing it until someone tells you can't do it anymore because you only get one chance to do it.
That's right. Chris Cokley, we thank you for coming on. Former Savannah High Blue Jacket standout, former UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham Blazers standout. And now let's hope he gets to play here at that TBT tournament that everybody's been talking about, that he'll come back to Savannah. We can see his talents. Next up, the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week from AE Beach High School. This kid was a 3-sport standout athlete, excelled in football, excelled in basketball, probably got his track season cut short, and that's, of course, Jalen Wells. And he is a Savannah State football player. Signed a scholarship.
Yeah, so he's going to stay local, so we get to talk to Jalen about that. And then we also get a little insight on maybe there's a reason you stay local.
Oh, you got that right. You're listening to the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. We're on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and I'll get us back on Twitter Live in a couple of seconds. And it's all on the Coach's Corner Sports Network.